Welcome back, my Alpha Squad, to another episode of Cell to Singularity, Evolution Never Ends. Since we've been gone, last time we've collected a 5.93 times 10 to the power 26 entropy and 3.78 times 10 to the power 20 ideas. That's quite a lot. Let's collect that. Thank you for the boost. I'm not gonna spend my Darwinium, was it? Yeah. Last time we left off, we unlocked quite a few things. Let's set up the nanoids, whatever they are, and go straight back to buying new things. So where are we at? Personality programming. I think that should be up here somewhere. There it is. Lowest is 17, so we'll start with that. How much of your personality... excuse me, my tongue just did a brain fart of its own. How much of your personality is innate and how much is gained through experiences? And in a world where even a robot can gain consciousness, will we become able to alter our own personalities mechanically? Self-improvement through science may become a new reality. Personality itself can change, but usually it takes either a traumatic experience or a very humbling experience to change someone's personality, depending on what their personality was and what you want the new one to be. So personality can change, but usually it's something very drastic needed for it to change. So there isn't much we can do right now that's, how can I say, socially acceptable. Embodied consciousness. Does the human soul exist? We don't have an answer for that yet, but now we know that the human mind can be transferred from one body to another, or even uploaded and stored in a machine. Could this open the door for immortality? See, the problem with uploading your consciousness is there will be two of you then, because you're gonna copy and paste someone's brain. You can't move it from someone's head to the computer, so there'll be two of them. So you will literally live two separate lives, but there will be no connection. So one of you will still be in your body and be like, oh, that didn't work, this sucks. So, and then you live the rest of your mortal life. Whereas the you that gets copied to the computer will be so excited and live its life in the computer, but then it runs the risks of running out of storage, computer glitches, being hacked, getting viruses, all that stuff. So either option is kind of, you know, either you stay yourself, or yeah, sure, you could technically run forever or until the computers die out or whatever. And let's just say there's a lot of things you'll be giving up if the you that switches over to the computer system. So even if the choice would make itself available to us, is it a good thing to make that choice? Or should we just enjoy the life we have right now, and, you know, even if it's finite, we just enjoy the time that we have? Stylized appearance. Why would you want to look like everyone else? First of all, no, we don't. Second of all, Let's read the rest. While some androids strive to emulate humans, others will embrace their own identity. Highly stylized androids make sure you always know who's the man and who's the machine. But if we mechanize our own bodies, what will be the difference really between androids and humans? Seeing as both are technically created and they can basically be the same. So if we merge mechanics with biology, then the only difference will be where your consciousness started and how fast your consciousness grew to the point where it is now. Whether you started as an infant child raised through years of experience, or whether you started as basically infant AI and been raised with information in the mere hours. Yeah, that's kind of terrifying if you think about it. With the right AI concept, you can teach them everything all humans know within, let's say it's a slow system, within a few days. So yeah, they can advance quite a lot faster than we can. Maybe that isn't the best idea. Human appearance. They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Robots begin to look more like humans, and eventually we won't be able to tell the difference at a glance anymore. Just walk around with some magnets, just like zzz, donk, and you'll Okay, let me explain the sound effect I made. Just imagine you holding a magnet and it flying out of your hand and sticking to the android. So that was the zzz was like the magnetization, and that donk was the metal of the magnet hitting the metal of the android. So yeah, just walk around with some magnets, and then that zzz, donk, you'll see who's an android, or who's had a metal body part replaced. Oh, that's also true. You won't really be able to tell the difference because humans will have mechanical parts as well. Dang it. Yeah. Self-modification. Speaking of, technological advances allow us to augment basic human ability. We have the technology. We can make him better, stronger, faster. The $6 million man. Yes, so basically everything I've been saying up until this point. Cyanobacteria. Oh, we're back to Mars. Cyanobacteria is necessary for soil adaptation and for the viable production of food, fuel, and oxygen. But by cultivating these tiny organisms, we have opened up the potential for long-term life on the red planet. Oh, long-term life support on the red planet. Yes, moving to Mars. Then again, it'll take a few, if not thousands, a few hundreds of years for us to terraform Mars the way we need it. Deflection shields. Mars has a thin atmosphere, and exposure to radiation and solar flares is dangerous for our human explorers. We need protection in the form of shields to guard us. Creating a shield of magnetic fields shouldn't be too difficult, but it will be a problem to then protect our technology against the magnetic field, because the way Earth protects itself from the sun is through magnetic fields, but it's so basically out of the way that it doesn't affect our technology too much. But if we use a machine to create a magnetic field shield, then we really need to do very careful calculations to ensure that it isn't too strong or it doesn't mess up the machine that's creating it. So many things to think about if you were to actually do something like this. And hopefully at that point we might have strong enough power sources to even start making like machines to create a planetary sized magnetic field, because then the radiation and solar flares won't be a problem anymore on Mars, and everything will get sent to the north and south pole of Mars like it does here on Earth. Mars will start having its own solar lights, or the aurora borealis, or what's the south one called again? Like, I know you can say northern lights and southern lights, but north is aurora borealis. What's the south again? I don't remember, but Mars will have its own version of that. And I wonder if the radiation might also then start help melting the frozen ice peaks of the north and south pole of Mars. Very interesting theories coming up right now. Microgravity research. Well, we do tend to study small things from time to time. Time spent in space is hard on an astronaut's body. The effects of low gravity on bones is still being studied, and we'll need to know more before we begin sending astronauts on long interplanetary missions. As far as I know, the low gravity makes it so your bone density goes down, which isn't good because that means you can fracture and even just break or splinter your bones a lot easier than you would with denser bones. And the unfortunate thing is there are like things you eat that helps with bone density, but that's also only due to Earth having gravity to help kind of tell your body we need denser bones. So unless we have some kind of artificial gravity working on our bones, like inside the suits or the stations, our bones will become fragile, and that's a big problem. Habitation module. Pressurized environment with protection from sun radiation, and dust storms. Yeah, but see, it's pressurized air, and that'll help us be able to breathe easier, but we still don't have the gravity we need. So that's still a big problem. Biodome. The next step up from the HAB, biodomes are closed ecological systems. As more explorers land on Mars, this is where they will live. Making a sustainable biodome is not going to be easy. There's so many factors to take into place, like creating oxygen and all that stuff. Like, yeah, sure, trees and everything, but you also are going to need food supplies and everything. Sure, you can live on plants, but it's going to be a balance of the more plants you harvest, the more you're going to need to replant, because the more you harvest, the less oxygen reproduction there is and all that. And the more plants you plant, the more oxygen reproduction there is, and the less CO2 there is, and the balance goes out, and then plants start to die. And I keep going off on tangents, but it's just because all this is very interesting. Martian mining. Mars has many volcanoes, and as a result, the planet is rich with compounds and minerals like copper, iron, nickel, lead, silver, bismuth, and many more. What do you use bismuth for? I don't know. At least with all the copper, iron, and silver, we can get resources to build up more machines. But we also need gold, so we'll need to hopefully find gold on the planet. Resource extraction equipment. Mining isn't easy when you're the first people on the planet. We'll need drilling and extraction equipment if we're going to harvest the planet's abundant geological resources. Just send America, they're pretty good with taking resources from other places. I shouldn't have made that joke, people are gonna target me now. But the truth though, a propellant production plant. The sooner we can use the resources of Mars to create the fuel we need to send space shuttles between the red planet and Earth, the better. That is true, unless we find a way to make a really good propulsion without needing like heavy fuel, like say having a miniature nuclear reactor on a spaceship, but that has its own problems. But still, if we can get energy production to be really great output but still a small package, then we don't really need the propellant production plant, because then the ships will have their own energy resources needed for the propulsion to get off planet and to get back. So many things. It's like what they're trying to do with the EM drive, but that still hasn't really given enough results to think it's viable. Psychological support. Yes, you're definitely gonna need a psychiatrist on Mars. Well, then again, there's not gonna be any pills available. Well, maybe in the beginning, but not long term, so maybe just a psychologist? The first astronauts to land on Mars will have to be psychologically strong. Months of separation from their families back on Earth and the isolation of space can take their toll on the human psyche, and we'll need good support to keep these explorers mentally well. See, this is a difficult balance to get, because it's literally the balance between high IQ and overthinking, and well, high enough IQ and skills to be part of the astronaut team. Well, then again, you can have enough skills without having a really high IQ, I guess. But I don't know, there's the psyche of there's very few people that won't have a psychological breakdown at some point. That's all I'm saying. We can open up the Martian settlement. Well, we need to settle somehow. That just looks like the there we go. The Martian settlement. You just need to get that in a good position. There we go. Colonizing Mars. I guess that's the kind of mission for today's video, as it were. And there's more things we can unlock. Water drilling. To gain access to the frozen underground waters of Mars, we must drill deep into the planet's crust. The deeper we go, the wetter it gets. Cut that out, cut that out. Let's move on to the next thing. Or refinement. Now that we're beginning to mine Mars' natural metals and minerals, we're going to have to purify them so we can begin to turn them into new materials. Like I said earlier, we can use it to reproduce equipment we need. Fertilizer production. If we are going to live on Mars, we need to be able to grow on Mars. Fertilizer makes our soil richer, and the methane and carbon dioxide produced as byproducts are valuable in their own right. That is true. But like I said with the biodome, it's getting the balance between plants and what they need to photosynthesize, and well, everything is kind of difficult. Crude rovers. That doesn't look very good. Exploratory vehicles allow us to travel from one end of the Martian desert to the other. I thought the entire planet was basically a desert, so what, you're gonna do a 360 around the planet? Road trip to Olympus Mons. Anyone? Olympus Mons. I don't know Martian, what do you call it? Topology? Not sure. I don't know Martian geography, so I wouldn't know where that is. Radiation protection. Imagine you could drink a pill to protect you from radiation. Long-term radiation protection will be necessary as we begin to colonize Mars. Underground living quarters are one potential solution to this problem. But then again, with Mars not having an atmosphere, how basically soaked is the planet already with radiation? So wouldn't it still be kind of easy for the radiation to seep through the soil? So either that, or we're gonna have to find a way to get a lot, and I mean a lot, of concrete up to Mars. Lava tubes. What, we're not surfing water anymore, we're surfing the lava tubes? Okay. Mars's underground lava tubes form natural tunnels that are perfect places for underground shelter. Yeah, sure, there's just the small problem of not wanting to bathe in lava. Well, then again, it's underground, so magma. The game got something wrong. They said underground lava. Underground lava is magma. Ha! You can't know everything, game. Still knows a lot more than, well, you or me. Genetic engineering. Oh, we're back here again. We'll need to change our genetic structures to make the human body better suited to live in low gravity. Like I was saying with the bone density. That's not the only thing we will need to change, but it's one of the things we'll need to change. And also, because of the low gravity, I assume that people will be shorter on Mars than on Earth. But that assumption might be wrong. Maybe they'll be taller because of the low gravity? I'm just thinking that the less gravity, you won't need to grow as big. Because I'm talking like far future, like where there's actually people being born on Mars. I'm just thinking with less gravity, you won't need to be as big to support your entire body. Then again, we range from very small to very tall on Earth, so maybe they'll just keep that up on Mars. I'm trying to speculate on things I have zero knowledge about. It's kind of interesting. I believe I need to upgrade the Singularity a bit to unlock these two. There we go. Upload consciousness. Will humans ever even need bodies in the future? Our fragile human meat sacks may be a thing of the past if we can implant our brains and consciousness into machines or even to the internet itself. We literally just came back to that entire tangent I went on earlier. There we go. Machine rights. Oh, this is going to be a touchy topic. If machines are able to think and feel like humans, how do we determine how we get to treat them? Or how they get to treat us? Ooh, that's gonna be... Luckily, that's none of our problems, because we aren't at that stage yet. But I guess for a future where machines have consciousness and can think for themselves and have their own wants in life, well, in their life, which is a lot longer than ours, so their wants will most likely... How do you justify their lifespan, though? Because they'll basically be able to live forever, seeing as if their quote-unquote body gets old, they can just get a new one. So they definitely will be the superior beings on the planet. So at that point, unless we have a butt ton, and I mean a crap load of EMPs, electromagnetic pulses, to shut them all down in one swoop, I don't think we can win the fight against them. And also, the EMP is a double-edged sword, because that's going to take out all our technology as well. So, but we'll have mechanical weapons left, so we can win the war. But it's going to be very difficult, because if we don't wipe everything, and I mean everything, there might be the chance that one of the machines stored themselves away on some hard drive, flash drive, freaking server somewhere, and restart the entire thing after it's learned how to take us out without needing to go to straight face-to-face war. I have very interesting thoughts about this. Let's go back to Mars. Earth is getting dangerous. The Martian factory. We now have our Martian living quarters and our Martian factories. There we go. Let's see what else. The human settlements on Mars begin to become self-sufficient. Now that we can reap the benefits of Mars' natural resources, we start to create the new Martian economy. Will they start to make physical currency? Or at that point will we just stick to digital currency? What will Mars currency even be called? And no, not Mars coin, because that's just blatantly obvious and kind of stupid. No offense to anyone who thought Mars coin, but still. A good name for Martian currency. The US and a lot of other countries has the dollar. There's the yen. There's pounds. Martian currency, what could we call it? Something alien-y. What about, I don't know, maybe it will be like the comics where at that point everything will just be called credits, you know? Nuclear fusion. Now that we've mastered factories, we've proven that we can perform large-scale complex operations on Mars. So why not open a nuclear power plant? Or, as I said earlier, maybe at that point the ships themselves would be powered by them, so we can just connect up all the power plants of the ships and then go from there. Renewable energy. Where once we saw dust storms, now we see windmills. Where once we saw harsh rays of the sun, now we see solar panels. The disadvantages of Mars are now what powers our society. This is true human ingenuity. But see, the problem with the solar panels is exactly the dust storms. Because with the dust storms, the solar panels are going to have to be cleaned every single time one of those dust storms comes by. Because otherwise the solar panels are just not going to work anymore. You need to have them cleaned continuously. So unless we somehow make a face surface for the solar panel that nothing can stick to or cling to, that everything just slides off, the solar panels aren't really going to work out. Like here on Earth as well. If you don't clean your solar panels every now and then, the dust will keep collecting on top of the solar panel, and you'll pretty fast, not pretty fast, like the efficiency of the solar panel will go down as the dust starts to collect, and you'll see that effect pretty fast as it's happening. Advanced propulsion. See, this is what I was talking about. New and more efficient forms of propulsion make travel between Earth and Mars faster than ever before. Why does that blueprint kind of look like an EM drive? No, wait, that looks like normal engine rocket propulsion. It's kind of difficult to see, it's very small. Worker living quarters. Housing high numbers of people in close contact, worker living quarters are an experiment in high density populations, and an important step towards the urban planning that is necessary to build a city. Yeah, just know, if you're moving to Mars, you're not going to have a big room all to yourself. You're going to be, the only thing that's going to be private and yours alone is enough space for a tiny little bed and maybe a few personal things, like a little shelf or something. The rest is all going to be communal showers, communal kitchen, communal eating area. So yeah, you're not going to have a lot of space to yourself. Just be prepared for that. Worker spacesuits. Our technology has advanced to make spacesuits that are easier to move and work in. Complex physical tasks are now possible thanks to increased mobility while working outside. Yeah, and every time you come inside, you're gonna be like your own dust cloud. One step in there, dust everywhere. You're gonna be like an old couch in in your grandma's house. Just like one smack and then dust everywhere. Large-scale extraction. Better machines allow us to extract more raw resources from the planet. Ooh, this reminds me of that, like, what was it? There was this show that was focused around gigantic industrial machines that obviously are not in use anymore because it's not that they weren't effective, it's just that they were so big, they finished the job and then it's just too difficult to move them to the next. And also they create a lot of destruction in the environment they are currently being used in. Advanced robotics. Increasingly complex and competent machines mesh with the human workforce to make Martian factories extra productive, as well as doing jobs too dangerous for humans. Then again, if we get to this point where factories and all those types of things can be automated, will you really need a big workforce on Mars? All you need is enough people to run all the systems and do maintenance. So the workforce won't necessarily have to be as big as we think it will be. Interplanetary trade route. Fast transport between Earth and Mars and the high productivity of Martian factories means that the first trade routes between Earth and Mars are a success. I don't think the Mars Pad 300 is gonna cost you an efficient amount, because that's gonna be pricey as hell. You think iPads are expensive? The Mars Pad 300 is gonna cost you like 20 times what an iPad costs now. Commercial spaceflight. With transport between Earth and Mars faster than ever, it is now quicker, cheaper, and easier to travel between planets. Yeah, I'm very skeptical of the word cheaper there. Very skeptical. Let's start our first Martian city. Let's see, we've accomplished quite a lot in this episode. We have, just need to zoom out here for a bit. We have accomplished Martian settlement, Martian settlement, Martian factories, Martian cities, with its own settlement inside it. What? And the factories don't even have to be inside the domes. They can pollute outside this city. The colonists of Mars work and play and live in the world that they have created. This once hostile planet is now home. And the benefit of all the factories we can mass produce on Mars is that they'll produce greenhouse gases that'll make an atmosphere around Mars, and then the energy we were previously putting into melting the ice caps and creating a magnetosphere to protect the Earth, the Mars. Well, we say Mars or the Mars, because technically we can say Earth or the Earth. And what will classify you as a Martian? Is it if you move there? Because technically then you're just an immigrant from Earth that moved to Mars. I think a Martian is only people that are... No, wait. Yeah, if you choose to move there, you can be given Martian citizenship. But wait, who will be in control of the Martian colony? Will we just send up astronauts and at some point they'll start to choose their own president? Or will the UN from Earth not be UN anymore, but UP for United Planets instead of United Nations? I don't think UP will work because people will make so much fun of the acronym UP. Just like, you have a problem, just call UP. You might need a toilet for that, or a mop, depending on how urgent the matter is. Oh, but in all seriousness, who will govern the Martian people? Will they govern themselves, or will it be in control of the United Nations? I wonder how difficult it is for the nations to get along on Earth. Who knows how difficult it will be for them to either get along and govern Mars, or to get along with the people that decide to govern Mars on their own, because a big argument can be made for, we live on Mars so far away from Earth. It's not even gonna be we want to be our own country. They can be their own planet. Because of all the trade routes and stuff, they have power. It's just like, oh, sorry, you don't want to recognize us as our own planet and our own separate governmental system? Then you can't come here anymore. We can sustain ourselves right now, so we don't need you. And then Martian politics will start to evolve, and Earth will have to, well, as long as the people from Earth don't get their trigger fingers as itchy as they always do, then we don't need to sign a peace treaty with Mars. But if everything goes the way it usually goes when colonists go to a new area, then war might break out. And the funny thing is, this won't just be colonists going to a place they've never been before and trying to take over. This will be colonists trying to take over an area they have previously sent their own people to start to govern. It'll be like, say America invades an island never before seen, and they actually do it, but then the Americans on that island decide they want to be their own country. Then America wants to retake the country once again. So they have to retake it from their own people that decided, no, screw you, we don't want to be a part of your country anymore. We want to be our own country. And this is kind of the same thing. People went to Mars, part of their own countries, and then they were like, de facto, no mutiny, all that things. We are Martians now. We are our own separate entity that you're going to have to accept. That was a very big tangent, and I think we went way over time on this one. So if you enjoyed that that very long, every time I went on a tangent, informative episode, then leave a like. If you haven't subscribed already and became part of the Alpha Squad, why not just subscribe? It's an awesome squad to be a part of. Join the Discord, we all have fun there. And join me next time as we, well, continuously see the meter fill up here. At the rate we're going now, we might actually be able to... Where is it? I have no idea. No, it's not here. I don't think it is. No. Oh yeah, just click up there. At the rate we're going now, with upgrading this, the metabit generation, we'll be able to expand that. That's 1,000. Either way, at some 71,000. Never mind. At some point, we're gonna have to restart the simulation once more, upgrade all these, and then we can go back. Also unlock things here. We have still quite a few things to unlock, like the 3 null nodes, locked glass, explore further. It's unclear what secrets hide. As currently we've unlocked the Singularity, we've unlocked brain glass and reptile relatives. Yeah, that's the Singularity glass. I wonder what the others could be. What big things can we still do? Why isn't Mars a glass? Because that's kind of big, moving to another planet. This is the episode of tangents, I swear. Because I literally finished the video and then I went off on another tangent. Either way, I already said all the things that I usually say at the end of the a video. So hope you enjoyed the Martian takeover alongside a few human modifications. This episode is the Mars and body modification. Yeah. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed, and I'll see everyone next time.